New York City Mayor Bill DeBlasio said this week that Donald Trump and the Trump Organization could end up losing $17 million at least worth of contracts with the city of New York over his behavior, basically because of the impeachment. Now, according to the way these contracts were written that Donald Trump holds in New York City, if the holder of the contract engages in any kind of criminal activity, the contract can immediately be revoked, terminated, gone. You don't get that money anymore. And as a report here says, the Trump Organization's long taken in $17 million a year to run 2 public ice skating rinks and a carousel in Central Park, as well as the Ferry Point public golf course in the Bronx. And, according to DeBlasio, it is very clear at this point that Donald Trump did commit a crime with regard to inciting the riot that took place on January 6th. Now, the impeachment is pretty good evidence of this, right? Not as much as you would think. That's what kind of stinks about this whole thing. I know DeBlasio is out there saying they can do this, but he hasn't been convicted. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. Look, I love when stupidly bad things happen to Donald Trump. Not, personally or health-wise, but financially. I love when the guy gets hammered. But as it stands right now, if DeBlasio were to revoke those contracts today, Trump could sue and he would win. Because Donald Trump, as of this moment, has not been convicted of a crime. So DeBlasio's instinct that Trump has committed a crime, the evidence that at this point really is overwhelming that Trump committed the crime, that becomes irrelevant if it hasn't been confirmed in a court. So you cannot just say, well, I feel like you committed a crime, so I'm taking away your contract. I'm sure DeBlasio, may think that's the case. I'm sure, city council members may feel like that's the case. But I promise you're going to get in court and they're going to tell you that since he hasn't actually been convicted, you cannot remove these contracts. Which begs the question anyway, why the hell is Donald Trump running ice skating rinks? Why is he running the carousel in Central Park? Well, I don't know. I haven't gone through the contracts to see when they were awarded, but as I'm saying this, I remember, oh yeah, his good friend Rudy Giuliani used to run the city. So yeah, Trump's long been a major player in New York City politics. He has, greased the right wheels. It would be great to see him lose these contracts. And if he is eventually convicted by the Senate, if they ever hold that impeachment trial, as McConnell says they're going to do after the inauguration, then sure, yeah. As soon as he is convicted, revoke those contracts right that second and say, you are done, buddy. If he is tried and convicted with the investigations in New York, with Cy Vance or Letitia James, revoke them. You absolutely have the authority to do that. But right now, coming out and jumping the gun, that's not helping anybody. In fact, all it does is give Trump and the Trump Organization the time they need to work on a really good defense for when they appeal this decision in court. This was not a smart announcement by Bill DeBlasio. I hope it pans out and I hope Trump loses the contracts, but DeBlasio may have jumped the gun and cost himself big time by making this announcement this week.